Hey everybody, welcome back to the Liver Rescue 369 Cleanse video series by Surfing Ways of Light. I'm Brittany here and I am going to be sharing with you all the details and information you need to do 9 days of cleansing to heal. This is video number 2 of a 14 video series. This is the overview of days 1 through 3 in the Liver Rescue 369 Cleanse. Here's our video library so you know where we are in the map on the course. We're here at video 2, the overview of days 1 through 3. All right, so what are the main objectives of days 1 through 3? Well, one, we're going to be reducing the normal consumption of radical fats. That's nuts, seeds, oils, olives, coconut, avocado, animal protein, etc. by 50% and wait to eat radical fats until dinner time. So radical fats are, per medical medium, any food source that has most of its calories coming from fat. So those, he names them in his books. I gave you some examples here. These are all radical fats. You can also find a more in-depth description of radical fats in my Surfing Ways of Light cleanse guide. So that's the first thing you're going to be doing. And we're not going to be eating any fat until dinner time. So for lunch, you're going to be doing a sweet potato or some salad without oil, using a dressing without oil, using oranges or garlic or other things to make your lunchtime for the first 3 days. Also, you want to know which foods to avoid. We went over that in the first video, the cleanse overview. And also check the labels for any sneaky additives. Sometimes there can be, MSG or natural flavors, artificial flavors, things like that in the boxes that we may use for cooking. And then if you enjoy animal products, make sure you're sticking to 1 serving per day and make sure that that serving is of the highest quality. Want it to be lean, wild, organic, free-range fish or fowl. And you're going to eat that only at dinner. So remember, if you normally have a whole chicken breast for dinner every night and that's your source of fat, then you're going to do half a chicken breast. If you have a whole chicken breast plus rice with olive oil and veggies with olive oil, you're just going to be decreasing. So half the olive oil you would normally use, half the olives, half the coconut milk. You're just going to start slowly decreasing the amount of fat that you're intaking. And then this is new on his, in the Cleanse to Heal book. You're going to be cooking veggies only by steaming or making soups and stews. In the first book, he said you could bake them, put them in the oven. In the newer version, he says that you should be steaming or making soups and stews. And make sure you know substitutions and adaptions. If you have any issues with apples or any of the foods that we're about to go over in the next slide, then make sure you reach out to me or look up in his book, Cleanse to Heal, about substitutions and adaptions for this cleanse. And then also one new tip he gave in Cleanse to Heal was that for the first 3 days, you want to try to include 1 cup of zucchini or squash for lunch. So steamed zucchini or squash, if you can put that in your lunch, that will be helpful in upping your cleanse. All right, so what are we actually doing in the first 3 days? So here's the first 3 days. I'm going to do a brief overview with you. So day 1, 2, and 3, you're going to be doing the Liver Rescue morning. So that's at least 16 ounces of lemon or lime water, 16 to 24 ounces. I do 32 typically to start off the day. Then you want to start with 16 ounces of celery juice. You don't actually have to do celery juice during these 3 days, but this is a way that you can up your cleanse, and I highly recommend it to get into this routine early on. And the celery juice, I find, really helps with the cravings throughout the cleanse, so I recommend doing that. Then you are going to do your breakfast and mid-morning snack choice. Remember, no radical fats. You can do any fruits or vegetables. I recommend doing the Liver Rescue smoothie or the Heavy Metal Detox smoothie. Those recipes can be found in the books or in the cleanse guide. Lunchtime, as we talked about, you're just going to be doing any fruits or vegetables. Try to steam or make soups and stews. Make sure your stews don't have any sneaky additives like natural flavors. Then in the afternoon, it's going to be a little bit different each day. You're going to be doing 2 apples with 1 to 4 dates on days 1 and 2. And then on day 3, you'll be doing 2 apples with 2 to 4 dates in the afternoon. And also just a note, on days 2 and 3, you're going to have on day 2, 1 apple after breakfast, and then on day 3, 2 apples after breakfast. You'll be eating a lot of apples during this cleanse, so get a big bag of apples. Dinner time, again, the first 3 days you have a lot of choices, but this is where you can have your, serving of salmon or chicken or whatever that animal protein is, or a big serving of vegetables with some olive oil or olives or coconut milk, avocado, whatever that fat is, make sure you're getting that in. Remember, the next 6 days after this, you won't be having fat. So I highly recommend eating some fat. You want to decrease. If you're used to having a high fat diet, you don't want to just go to no fat. That will overwhelm your liver. And then for the end of the day, you're going to have an apple if you're still hungry. You can eat as many as you want. Again, you're going to be doing 16, 24, or 32 ounces of lemon or lime water, and then a hibiscus or lemon balm tea. You're allowed to add a teaspoon of honey to your hibiscus or lemon balm tea. And yeah, make sure you're drinking that water at night. You're probably going to get up to pee, but that's part of this cleanse. It'll be good for your system. All right, just again, want to remind you about my disclaimer. I encourage you to pause this and read this over. Remember, you should always be consulting a physician before you do any kinds of cleansing, making sure that this is in alignment with your current medical status, the medications, and all those other things that you are on. Remember, I am here as a guide and a teacher and a coach, teaching from my experience using this cleanse and his other healing protocols to help myself, and that's where I can share my insight with you. All right, so if you want to learn more about me, I'm Brittany Histing. You can find me at www.surfingwavesoflight.com. Here's some of my Instagram and some of the things I do. I teach people medical medium protocols and cleanses, do forgiveness work around Spot It and A Course in Miracles. I do healing touch sessions, channeling, and surf lessons. So if any of those interest you and you like me, give me a buzz. The next video I'll be doing is on the overview of day 1, and I'll see you in that video. Have a great day. Bye.